the same exercises on their card. I'm just gonna kind of randomly go through. You can start by crossing out your free pass in the middle. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with just regular bingo. So all the way across, all the way, 5 in a row, I think it is. So first person that gets that can choose between a brain stress ball, or we have a book here, The Caregiver's Guide to Dementia. And then if time allows, we'll go and get a second winner. Okay. So the other fun piece of this is that hopefully you'll learn some new exercises or some new stretches. So once we pull one of these, we'll go ahead and do a couple repetitions. If it's a strengthening movement, or if it's a stretching movement, we'll hold that stretch for a couple seconds. Of course, please do whatever you're comfortable with. You don't have to participate in the exercise if you don't want to. All right, so the first one here is a front raise. So find that on your paper, front raise. And if you need a pen or a marker, let me know. I know if you don't have something hard to write on, it can be tough. So a front raise, we're going to talk about our shoulder muscles, so the anterior deltoids. So you could imagine grabbing some dumbbells, a can of soup, and we're gonna focus on just raising our arms up to about shoulder height, nice and slow, and slowly back down. So let's just do 10 of those. This is something that you could do with, again, can of soup, a water bottle. If you have a resistance band, you can step on the resistance band and bring it up. So the idea too is just nice and controlled, so slow and controlled both ways. A little extra easy when it's just body weight, but that's not always the case with exercises. We'll do 2 more. Alright, was everyone able to find that on their sheet? Okay. Alright, our next one here is a bicep curl. So when you find the bicep curl, mark it off, and then we're going to do these from our chair. If your handles are in the way, you can kind of do a wide bicep curl or shimmy to the edge of your chair, wherever you're comfortable. We're just going to focus on keeping those elbows tucked, and we're bringing our arms up to our shoulders and slowly back down. So again, this is another exercise. You can use a band, use some soup cans. Down. There's a couple different variations. So we're just doing a regular bicep curl. You can rotate your hands so they face in. This is a hammer curl. You can even rotate it so that they're facing away. This feels a little funny. You're going to push down. That's called a Zoderman curl. Do 2 more of these. Alright. Feel free to keep doing it if you'd like. Bent over fly is the next one. So a bent over fly is going to work your back muscles, and these are all exercises you can do seated, you can do standing. If you're going to do these seated, you're going to want to be just a little bit closer to the edge of your chair, just wherever you're comfortable. Your feet are flat out in front of you, and you're going to shift your body weight forward. So you're bringing your shoulders forward. Imagine that you're holding, some dumbbells. Watch for your neighbors here. And we're gonna bring our arms out like we're flapping our wings, and bring them slowly back down. And up and down. So when you bring them up, you might be squeezing those shoulder blades together in the back. Feel a nice squeeze. The more kind of bent forward you are, the more you're going to feel this in your back versus your shoulders. And just do what's comfortable for you with your range of motion. We'll do 2 more. Alright. And next, we have knee marches. Knee marches. Hopefully you all can read my handwriting okay. That's the other part of the game. Alright, so knee marches are pretty self-explanatory. Sitting in your chair, whenever you're ready, you're just gonna focus on picking up one leg at a time. Slow and controlled. Again, focus on your breathing while you're doing this. It can be a little easier to hold your breath because we're, kind of compressing this area of our body. This is something that obviously you can do standing, so when you talk about like brushing your teeth, something that you'd be comfortable doing while standing, using a chair, using a counter, anything like that. All right, we'll do 2 more on each leg. Alright. So the next one is forward bend. So this one is related a little bit more to stretching, or maybe has anyone ever done chair yoga or anything like that? Yeah, so this might be something maybe that you've seen in chair yoga, but it's essentially just that we're bending forward, we're relaxing, you're letting the air out of your chest, and you're just reaching down to your toes. So if you want to, start it as a bigger movement and bring those arms up, take a nice inhale. And we're gonna exhale as we reach down to our toes and just kind of let it hang there. Let your head hang between the legs if comfortable. Feel free to give your head a shake. Make sure you're taking nice inhales and exhales. So let's hold down at the bottom. Depending on how flexible you are, you might feel a little stretch in your back. Hold it 3 more seconds. And slowly bring it back up. Think about rolling one vertebrae at a time. If you need, you can kind of wiggle it out. All right, was that 5? No bingos yet? All right. We have our oblique twist. Oblique twist.
So might be here till dinner.
Hopefully not. Oblique twist or
There it is.
Yep. All right, so oblique twists will be, we can do a static stretch. So you're just gonna kind of turn, you can find the edge of your chair and give yourself a little hold. You can use your legs as you hold and provide a little bit of push so that you're twisting maybe a little bit further than you might be without, pressing on something. And again, you're sitting up nice and tall and think about breathing. So in through your nose and out through your mouth. Holding it. And over to the other side. So we're treating this as a stretch. You could kind of treat it as an abdominal exercise. We'll bring it back to the middle and add, maybe a little weight as you're twisting side to side. So a couple different variations there. All right. Our next one is cat and cow. So this is a yoga stretch, yoga pose that some of you might be familiar with. Our feet are out on the floor in front of us, and I'll just turn sideways so you can see my body, but you're going to, I forget which one is which, but you're going to inhale and you're going to arch your back and almost bring your head like you're looking up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, you're going to round your back forward. Feel free to slide those hands down, round your back, and exhale. You're going to inhale, arch your back, bring your gaze back up towards the ceiling. And you're going to exhale, round your back down. Go ahead and do 5 of those.
So are we exercising our lungs with this breathing?
Breathing is always good when it comes to heart rate. I'm sure it probably is some sort of exercise for your lungs as well, but we do it more so for, you know, your heart rate and, you know, if you hold your breath, you can get dizzy, things like that, so it helps, for safety reasons too. Go ahead.
And for me, interestingly enough, with that chronic fatigue, my autonomic nervous system has been challenged and it doesn't work well. So the very first exercises the rehab doctor had me do were all breathing and different styles of breathing. Breathing in, holding it, breathing out. Just all different styles of breathing. So it's fascinating what breathing is tied
It
to.
really is, yeah, and we're so used to, as we, you know, babies you'll see breathe with their belly, right? They just automatically do that, but as we get older, we tend to breathe with our chest more so. We fill our chest, which actually can make us more anxious, versus belly breathing. So that's something that you can try at home. So instead of, maybe when you're laying in bed or something, you could almost set like a pencil or something, and instead of, you know, seeing it move on your chest, practice seeing it move on your belly. So it's a deeper breath. It's a more calming breath as well. The next one is leg add or abduction. Leg add or abduction. It's a funky looking word.
Is that the one that's ABLAD?
Yes, sorry, that's a slash, but yeah.
Gotcha.
It probably does look like that. Everybody find that one? So that's going to be seated on the edge of your chair. Instead of marching up and down, we're going to march out to the side. So you're stepping out to the side, together, side, together. So a leg adduction is moving your leg into the middle. Think of it as adding to the middle. An abduction, abduction, is bringing your leg out to the side, and it works those outer side muscles. So this is really 2 exercises here. And this again is something that you can just do when you're watching TV. You can make this a little bit harder by standing up, and you can practice. An adduction would be bringing it across your center here. An abduction would be bringing it out to the side. So something you can do to practice balance as well. All right, the next one is Warrior 1. And this is a pretty basic yoga pose. We can do it standing, but we can also do it seated. It might be a little tough just with the handles on the chairs, so we'll just do our best. But what I'll have you do is, if everyone wants to rotate with me, say to your left, I believe, and you're gonna take your right foot and you're gonna rotate it out with you. And you're gonna focus now taking your right leg, and you're gonna wanna either, you can step it away a little bit further, or just wherever you're comfortable, maintain some balance. Alright, so you're gonna shift your torso towards your left leg, you're facing this wall. And if you're comfortable, you can hold on to the chair here. If you're comfortable, you can bring both hands up. And you're just sitting up nice and tall. Think about reaching your head up to the ceiling. If you need to, hold on to the chair out in front of you and just do one arm at a time. But we're gonna focus on breathing here, so it's just a nice big reach. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Let's hear it. Alright, slowly bring those arms down, and then we'll bring them back to the center. Resituate yourself. Alright, is anybody close? Yeah. Alright. Oops, we have chest fly. Say it again. Chest fly.
Oh, fine.
Alright. So just from our seat here, we're gonna bring our arms, now watch for your neighbors again. So you can imagine that you're holding some weights or some sort of resistance. And you're gonna bring them close together, and then you're gonna open them back up. Typically, if you see this like at a gym, you'd be holding on to a machine and the resistance is coming from behind you. You're really pulling and squeezing those chest muscles. Because of the angle that we're sitting in right now, you may feel this a little bit more in your shoulders, but that's just because we don't have resistance, behind us at this point. We'll do 2 more. Shoulder shrug. Bingo. Alright, so our shoulder shrug is going to be seated, and just like that, you're gonna raise your shoulders up to your ears and slowly back down. If you want to pair this one with breathing, I like to inhale up, exhale down. So you can use this as like a calming exercise, or if you want to strengthen, you could hold on to something a little bit heavier, and you'd actually be working your trapezius muscles and your shoulders and neck area. So first, bingo, you get to choose between stress ball or a book.
Can I just feel it?
Sure.
I would like this.
So stress ball. Perfect, okay.
She got a brain.
It is a brain.
Finally.
Yes. Alright, we'll play to another bingo, and if anyone's interested in the book, assuming, that's up for grabs, so.
Are we playing a second game?
Yeah, so,
So should I get a
Continuing this
Or
on.
continuing.
continuing.
yeah,
I
let's
missed
just
that word.
continue, how does that
Thank you.
sound? Okay, now, do we want to do another 5, so some of you might be close, or we could switch it and we could do like 4 corners. Does anyone have a preference?
I suggest we see who gets the next.
Next one,
Yeah.
alright, I like it.
Continue.
That sounds good. Okay. So this is side angle pose. Side angle pose. Oh, did I put them all there?
Bingo.
Bingo, that was quick. So what we're going to do with a side angle pose is we're just at the edge of our seat again, wherever you're comfortable, and we're focusing on rotating or angling our body. So let's see, we're going to take our right arm, we're going to bring it across. You can lay it across your lap. If you are more flexible and you want a higher intensity stretch, you could bring it down to the ground, just about in between your legs. And you're taking that opposite arm and you're reaching it up towards the sky. So again, a little lower intensity would be leaning on your lap here and just focusing on rotating at your torso. Remember to breathe. This is another yoga stretch. And then you're going to bring it back to the center and over to the other side. So you're either bringing that other arm down, leaving it on your lap here, and up. And to make it a little more challenging, you can look up, follow your fingers up towards the ceiling. And we'll bring it back down to the center. Alright. So let's see, bingo is back here. If you're interested, free for you to take and feel free to share if not. So that's what I have for you all today. If you're interested in like going through any of the other exercises, we're happy to.
Would you show the rest of them to
Yeah,
us?
sure. Let's walk through them. I might have tossed in the ones we already did. I'm trying to.
I can tell you which ones are left.
Okay, yeah, we can walk through them. How does that sound?
Child's pose.
Child's pose. So this is one where if you're comfortable standing, I'd ask you to stand. And you can either use the chair in front of you or you can turn around and use the chair behind you. So a typical child's pose would be on the ground and you're reaching out with your hands out in front of you, stretching your back muscles here. But you can do this on a chair by turning around and facing the chair, and you're actually just gonna step away. So there might not be quite enough room here, but you'll get the idea. And the idea is that you're hinging at your hips and you're gonna lengthen out through your arms and feel the stretch through your back. So if you wanna slide your chair, how does that sound? So you would want to be pushing yourself down, using that chair to kind of leverage your chair, or leverage a stretch in those muscles. Without the chair, you'd probably be doing more of a strength exercise here, so. Inhale and exhale as you do it.
Should we
You're s-
keep arms straight?
Yep, so your arms would be nice and straight, so, there you go. And your back is nice and straight too, so if you're rounded up at all, try to think about pushing those hips back and lengthen it out.
Ashley, I really have a lot of this
You have a lot
already.
of that stuff.
So if someone else
Someone
would
else.
really like it,
Okay, thank you.
that'd be great.
Alright, and what's the next one?
Yeah, the next one is calf raise.
Calf raise. So we can do those standing, we can do those seated, but essentially it's raising up to your toes so that you're feeling it in your calves. Again, hold on to a chair around you. We can do this seated as well, so I'll just demonstrate that. But raising up onto your toes.
Do you wanna do a squat or a sit to stand?
Sure, squat. So squat would be, well, I'll start from sit to stand because I'm sitting. Sit to stand would be the idea of using your leg muscles, pushing yourself up, and bringing yourself slowly back down. You want to make sure that the chair is behind you, that you're not pushing it away from yourself. And as you maybe get a little stronger or do this a little bit more, we want to make sure our hands are doing as little of the work as possible, or our arms are. So this is one of those functional movements, right? We're getting in and out of a chair, which we have to do every day, and we're also doing a squat. So
What should we do with our arms?
you can just keep them out front. You can bring them overhead. For your center of balance, I would keep it out front a little bit, just like as you go down, just helps maintain balance. So the tougher version then would be a squat, which you can do behind a chair. I'm just gonna lower your body down and up.
Do you wanna do a chest opener?
Sure, so this is a stretch. We're gonna be seated. No surgery, I promise. So this might be a little tough with the handles here, but this is just stretching those chest muscles. So I would have you try to reach for, say, the back of the chair. You're gonna sit up nice and tall and try to lean forward just a little bit. So you're really pulling your chest back, pulling those shoulders back. Feel a stretch across your chest, and you're breathing while you do it. These are stretches you could think about doing too, say at night before you go to bed, something like that.
Leg extension?
Leg extensions. So we did a couple of these during our stretches. We're going to just kick our leg out in front. So watch for your neighbor. This is working those quads. So one of the biggest muscle groups out in front. To make this a little bit harder, you would slow it down. Or say you have ankle weights or something that you could put on, or maybe somewhere you could attach a resistance band.
Butt kick.
Butt kick. So this would be one standing. You could maybe try to do it seated as well, but if you hold on to a chair or something around you, a butt kick is just that. So you're gonna bring it up, kick your butt. One leg at a time. Again, this is something that you could do, waiting for your food in the microwave, or
That's true.
brushing your teeth if you want to challenge your balance a little bit. Alright,
A shoulder press.
shoulder press. So this would be, imagine grabbing cans of soup, some weights at home, a water bottle there would be a good example. And you're gonna take those into your hands here, you're gonna press them up overhead. So just depending on what your range of motion allows, you're gonna bring them down to about shoulder height and then push them overhead. So you inhale as you bring them down, and you exhale as you push away. again, this is, I think about putting away some dishes, the stuff that you don't use as often, and you keep it up high. We'll do 2 more. Alright,
Triceps kickback.
tricep kickback. So the triceps are this back part of your arm here. We can do these seated, and to do that, I'll have you, again, we're at the edge of our chair, our feet are flat on the ground in front of us. We're gonna hinge just a little bit at our hips, just to give ourselves some space. And your arms are coming to your side. So you'd imagine holding, another dumbbell or something, and you're gonna kick it back. So straight back, yeah, it might be kind of hard with how close the chairs are. A standing version would be just that. Hinge at the hips, and you're just gonna kick. And kick. Alright, so think about squeezing those arm muscles in the back as you bring your arms straight back. So when you're
raising on a pair of skis.
There we go.
almost, yeah. So you do want to try to keep your elbow stationary. So it's really just moving while your elbow's not swinging. You're just moving at the elbow. So that's where you're hinging at. If you start to swing more, you're going to actually work some of the back muscles. Which, nothing wrong with that.
A warrior 2.
A warrior 2, okay. So we're back down, seated. So this is a modification or an addition to the warrior 1. So let's take our foot out to the left side here. Again, if you're comfortable, stepping your other foot as far away as you would like. More of a stretch if you bring it back straight, but the chairs might get in the way. So we're facing the wall over here. We're gonna inhale up. This is warrior 1. And then warrior 2, you're gonna exhale. Bring that back arm down. Your front arm's coming down as well, so you got a nice straight line. And you're gonna look forward over your front arms. Add a little more of a stretch if you wanna lean one way. Also lean. And then typically you bring it up and you go to the other side as well.
Finger O's.
Finger O's. So this is just something easy to do. Maintain a little bit of your fine motor skills. Do it to the beat of a song or something. Something easy can maybe make it a little more difficult and do it between the 2 hands. But something.
My daughter says, stop tapping.
Uh-oh, I'm gonna get you in trouble.
Yeah. Pigeon pose.
Pigeon pose. So that's another yoga pose. We're gonna stay seated. As far as you're comfortable, you're going to bring one foot up so it can come up above your knee. Otherwise, if you just add a little lift to it, that's fine as well. And then you're gonna focus on taking a breath in. And as you exhale, just folding as far forward as you're comfortable. So this should be a stretch that you feel into the back of your leg, into your glute. And if you need to lower your leg down, you can just kind of hold it in place and stretch forward as well. And when you're ready, you can lower that down, and that's one you might want to balance out and do on the other side, so you feel that stretch in the other glute and leg as well. So again, bringing it up, you want to make sure it's either above your knee or below your knee. You're not pulling on your kneecap or doing anything weird there. Just as far forward as you're comfortable. I don't even have to go far, and I feel it stretch. Guess I need to stretch more.
Stiff. I have ankle circles as the last one.
Alright, ankle circles, easy enough. So that's, pick one foot, you're gonna circle it around. Go, clockwise and counterclockwise, do a couple each way. I've also heard of writing the alphabet, so making the letters and switching sides. So this is another one that you could do standing, or hold on to a counter, rotate your ankle. It would be a good warm-up exercise too before, say, you go for a walk or, plan to do something physically active. Alright, a that is that. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully you learned a couple new
Oh, yeah.
movements. Appreciate your time today, I really do.
Quick question, when you talked about the oxygen take up of the brain, is that like 90% of the oxygen